Welcome back to Pattrn. This is your home for the latest news in climate change and sustainability. I'm Jordan Steele.
And I'm Steph Abrams. Let's get right into our hot topics. All three of them are so good today.
Yeah,
the National Park Service is known for their witty social media warnings, and their latest public service announcement is don't pet the bison. As if you have to tell people this. It's crazy
not what it
to
says.
me.
It says don't pet the fluffy cows.
Well, there you go. In years past, tourists have risked their lives for Instagrammable pics.
Oh, gosh. I've seen this one. Like, what are you doing?
It's crazy. It's crazy. They're trying to get all these pics of the wildlife, which obviously is a big mistake. So if you plan to visit our national parks this summer, remember to keep your distance and don't attempt to pet the, quote, fluffy cows. No matter how cool they appear. No matter what it is, not abysmal, any animals out there.
If it's a cow, you still have to keep your distance.
Correct.
It's a cow.
Correct.
It'll trample you, okay? And this thing's got little horns on it that has been known to do a little this, and you can get gored.
Yes.
It's just interesting to me how, now, okay, I got to put this out there. I love our national parks. I love how they get people out of the city to go explore the outdoors. It's great. But I've had to almost like stop going to some of the more popular national parks because there's a lot of people who just don't understand what wildlife is. It's wild, right? Don't feed the wildlife.
Which is wild to me.
Which is wild to me too.
And, first of all, whoever runs their, social media accounts, they are the best. And they had an Instagram post that said, bison may look friend-shaped, but they already have all the friends they want. Keep your distance and don't make it awkward. But you have to follow National Park Service because they are so good.
Yeah, their coat, too, does look fluffy and nice. Don't touch it.
Come on.
All right, let's go on to the second hot topic here. One man's trash is another man's treasure. You know that saying. But with a price tag to match, this is no ordinary trash can. This apparently is art. The limited edition VIP pedal bin was designed by a contemporary artist and features 6 magnetic forms, but you can basically mix and match as you please. If you want to get your hands on one, it's all yours. You want to know how much? That price tag is $1,250. If you were on a certain game show, I would have been way off on that one.
Yeah, I had to pick my jaw up off the ground for a garbage can.
Is it
$1,200?
I mean, I guess if you're an artist,
if you're an artist, right? We shouldn't knock it. You and I do try to be super positive about a lot of things in life. So it's like, if that works for you and you've got the money to spend, then I guess enjoy.
Can we go back to just how much a normal stainless steel trash can is, by the way? They're like $150 to begin with.
I wouldn't know because I've had the same garbage can.
Good for you, Stephanie Abrams.
Years and years and
Way
years.
to reuse.
You know what I might do, though, is maybe cut out some designs, just stick it on there for fun.
That's all you got to do and try and sell it.
I'll upcycle some sort of material and just tape it on there. Get the same effect. Our final hot topic is a game of tag, but the stakes are way higher. For the last 5 years, killer whales have been ramming into boats. And according to experts, it's all fun and games. We didn't know if they were upset or what was going on. Since 2020, more than 670 vessels have been slammed by orcas off the coast of Spain, Portugal, France, and Morocco. But scientists say the yacht sinking incidents are actually more likely caused by bored teenagers. So we can all relate to this, right? Playing with boat rudders rather than violent attacks. One of the reasons for the uptick in boat attacks, thanks to conservation efforts, there is a large population of bluefin tuna for the orcas to feast on, which means they don't have to spend as much time chasing down their dinner. So they actually have more time to play instead.
This is hilarious.
This, I feel like, is Jordan and all his friends when they were teenagers.
Gosh.
And the things they used to do.
Getting in trouble?
No, but
or any of us as teenagers.
Any of us, he says. No, Jordan, you and your friends specifically, I feel like.
You know what's cool, though? Like, we've all seen dogs play together.
Yeah.
If you're an outdoor enthusiast, you maybe seen deer run around and play with each other. I've seen, dolphins catch waves and ride waves, and they're playing, which is cool.
Yeah.
But to think that, killer whales have fun and mess around. I think that's hilarious. I think there's a lot more of the species that we're gonna have to dive into. Now we know they're smart, but you're just messing around with this boat to mess around with this boat?
Right, and I wonder how much they really know. If they think, oh, this is just fun to play with, or let's mess with these humans.
Right, what if they know?
The health of the 7 seas is changing with the tides, with rising temperatures and pollution anchored as direct indicators of climate change. Shaped by Water is a brand new film that's helping connect the dots.
Yeah, in fact, this documentary takes viewers leagues below the water surface to discover how life on land directly impacts life under the sea. It's an eye-opening tale that includes a certain blue-haired mermaid who happens to be South Africa's first black female free-diving instructor. Zandile Ndhlovu joins us from Washington, D.C. to talk about this. Thank you so much for being with us. And we got to go with the obvious. How did you become what some people would call a real-life mermaid?
Hi. Well, I started freediving. So I went from scuba diving, diving with air. And then in 2020, I qualified as a freediving instructor going on the journey of freediving. And many would say, I'm the mermaid of the world now.
That you are, you're a mermaid, and freediving is so impressive
It's
too.
very impressive.
Very impressive stuff that you do, but that's not the only thing you do. You are the creator of the Black Mermaid Foundation. As a woman of color, how are you using your connection, to the sea and the environment to make a difference?
Thank you so much for that incredible question. So yes, I founded the Black Mermaid Foundation, and our work is to create diverse representation in ocean spaces by building that access that allows people to be able to bridge the gap and access the ocean, but also to make the ocean accessible in a way that allows for people to connect. We work with youth. We want to make sure that we get the next generation of ocean guardians to be equipped and educated and empowered in their advocacy for ocean protection.
Yeah, and one way to do that is to help bring it to their living rooms. And of course, the documentary is doing that. It's called Shaped by Water. What are some of the main takeaways from that documentary?
The most important thing for us is the idea of using storytelling as a means for people to connect to our natural world, for us to expand how we look at our oceans, but most importantly, to bring us to that place of wanting to take action, of wanting to protect our oceans, knowing that we might not be perfect in our efforts, but it is to try. And I think for me, that's the most important thing. It's bringing the connection of the whole water system into our living rooms in a way that makes us connected enough to care, enough to be intentional in the decisions that we make, whether it's saying no to single-use plastic or whether it's choosing to compost, but it's the idea of protecting our waterways.
The images are beautiful.
I was just going to say that.
I'm like, I wish I was swimming with you.
I know. Well, you kind of feel like you're due, that you're actually in there with her there. The film also encourages everyone to become climate advocates, no matter their experience level. As you were mentioning, it doesn't just have to be in the ocean, whether it's composting, whatever it may be. Do you have like a good place for somewhere to start small? Because a lot of times this feels overwhelming. I don't know what to do or how to do it. Do you have any tips for us?
Do you know what I think is easily the most important thing? Like when we think of the idea of who's a conservationist, we want to expand it and make it really big, but it starts with intentional action. Whether you're saying, oh, I'm going to take my reusable cup today, and whether I'm filling up my water, I'm filling up my coffee, I'm not going to make use of single-use plastic, but the power of our voices, and I think we take that for granted, whether we're speaking to our family or speaking to our friends, speaking to our community, it's in that moment of conversating and helping to educate another that we begin to take people on the journey with us, right? And so as we make intentional change, people often do what we do. There's a bit of listening, but in how we do things, people are encouraged to try. And I think, we don't want to make it seem daunting, the idea of being an advocate for our oceans, but it's to create the ultimate invitation.
I love it. Hey, real quick, I think it's fascinating that you free dive, and I'm mesmerized by what you do. And I'm a little fearful sometimes when you go underwater. How deep can you go, and how long can you hold your breath?
So at the moment, I can hold my breath for just under 5 minutes. So it's like at that 4:50 point. And my deepest dive is 35 meters, which I think is just over 100 feet.
Yeah.
And I love the deep ocean. I love being deep at sea. And it's easily the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life, but it's also the one place where I've felt absolutely connected to everything.
That's really
Everything's
cool.
quiet.
Yeah. Everything.
That's so cool.
Sandy, you're beautiful, and we love you, and we're so glad you came on the show. Thank you so much for your
Appreciate it.
time.
Thank you.
Her passion. I mean, it just jumps off the screen and gets me excited about the ocean and how beautiful.
5 minutes.
I know.
I can't even, I
imagine.
could barely do 60 seconds. It's amazing how much training that takes.
Yeah, it does.
And how cool. I can't wait to see the documentary, but just to kind of see that love, obviously it shines through like you were talking about.
Yeah, it absolutely does.